Going to talk with LC today about something that has been a bit of a nagging issue for me, but like I know it's a super common issue for a lot of people. Basically the motion of your trail elbow. So for most people, your right elbow in the backswing, what is the elbow doing? People have heard terms like internally rotated, externally rotated. Where should my elbow be relative to my chest? All this kind of stuff. And what does it mean for the downswing? And I've struggled with that for quite some time. I've kind of been a little bit this way at times. So I've had this kind of relationship where the elbow gets a bit out. If that stays that way in the downswing, you can get a little stuck. So you've shown me some drills off camera a few times that I want to show everyone today.
As long as your backswing is decent, you're going to probably hit some pretty good shots.
And that's why this drill is going to be simple, because if you get it in a pretty good spot in the backswing, chances are you'll retain that into the downswing.
Totally, yeah. So yeah, why don't you hit a couple first just so we can get a baseline?
Sounds good.
And then we'll go from there. So with you, your tendency, the old you, when we first started, was super lifty, super foldy, right? So there were tons of space under your left armpit there. Raise your arms even more. Like his left elbow was super high, his left arm was super high. We don't really like that.
No.
So from here, your left bicep is actually higher than parallel.
Correct.
We want it roughly at parallel or lower than parallel, just as a look, from a look standpoint.
So the drill is?
Yep, so the drill is, so there's a couple of drills that we can do. Okay, so the first drill you can do first is drop the club for a sec, Matt. So then when you set up, your arm's just kind of dangling, right? Put your right arm against your chest, so that's under your arm. Okay, good. So this kind of acts like a wall. If a wall kind of protruded off the side of your rib cage, this would be the wall, because we don't want this elbow to ever touch this wall. Does that make sense?
It does.
So if your elbow is here, all you should do is turn your body. So turn your body, and you see how his elbow stays in place in relationship to his back of his left hand?
So we don't want it moving in or up.
Exactly. So if it was, so go back to setup. So if at setup, the elbow is, let's say, 6 inches in front of his hand, you maintain that relationship as you turn. You feel that, Matt?
Yes.
So things are a lot more in front of your rib cage, okay?
Definitely.
So drop this for a sec. So you can see the seam of your shirt also acts as another reference. We're talking about the wall, right?
Right.
If you turn, the seam of the shirt also starts moving. So this wall off the side of your seam of your shirt is moving.
Yes.
Because you're turning. So now this still stays in front of the seam of the shirt.
Gotcha.
So go back to setup. So people who do it incorrectly, right? And sometimes you were a victim to this.
Totally.
So let's do it incorrectly now, okay? So drop this for a sec. So his arm would start moving independently from the torso even more. So now his elbow is orbiting behind the seam of his shirt.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So those are your big issues, and a lot of amateur golfers' big issues, as you fake the depth by getting this left elbow orbiting behind the left rib cage.
And if they do this drill, they'll feel, I mean, you'd literally feel your hand touch the elbow. Potentially.
Correct. You would hit that arm
like pretty
every
early.
Single time. Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly.
And then when you pick a club up, so this, I like that drill a lot, and one thing we talk about is, you know how I have a guilty pleasure of training aids. If you do use a training aid for this, the one potential issue is I'm squeezing, let's say, a ball to make this elbow relationship happen.
Right, totally.
Which is good, right? But it's a bit different if my arm is here and I have to physically avoid it.
Yes.
It should like biomechanically be a little bit better for me to learn the motion by avoiding this inward versus me, because really the squeezing motion doesn't actually occur in the backswing.
Yes.
So you'd recommend maybe I do a couple like...
I would just do one. I always kind of tell most of my clients to just do one rehearsal before you hit. I don't want you wasting too much energy doing 3-4 rehearsals.
And should I think of, like, once the backswing is done and I've rehearsed that?
You can just do whatever you want in the downswing.
So don't think downswing.
Correct. Just do your normal. Your downswing will react accordingly to what we're doing here. Good. You feel that? Good. Perfect. And then now reset. You're going to grip the club and you're going to swing it as if you're moving exactly like that, okay? Ball does not matter. Just the movement is what matters. Good. Really good.
Definitely felt more in front of me.
It was definitely more in front.
And that's what people will be looking for, is basically the left elbow and right elbow if you're right-handed should feel more in front of that seam of your shirt or on the seam.
So you can see a pretty big difference here.
Yeah, let me try a couple more.
Let's try again.
It felt good. So I basically just dropped the club.
Correct. And literally your left arm doesn't move, right? All you're doing is just turning and the left arm folds up slightly.
Just think chest turn towards you.
Correct. But don't pre-fold your left arm. So let your arms dangle. There we go.
Okay, so I want to, so basically not rigid, but somewhat straight.
Right, and then it folds up as you turn, exactly.
I understand.
Good. Really good.
It feels good. And I think when you do this, obviously it will be subtly different over time.
Good.
The contact is, I'm noticing contact being better.
Yeah, what do you feel in the contact?
Higher up the face a bit, like not as thin. I think I felt like the first few a bit thin,
That's
kind of
good.
thin pushes, and these ones are a little bit more
Yeah, it
on
looks good.
target.
You can see things stay right of your body.
Yeah, that's
So that's
a
one
good
thing you
point.
did really good with your righty swing. Is you did a really good job keeping it in front.
Yes.
Is it'll stay in front of your chest.
And so basically what you're saying is this kind of look, where the arms are here.
Yes, on the side of your body versus if this starts getting behind you, hands disappear behind your head.
And my left hand swing, I've seen this relationship a lot.
Totally.
I mean, my arm, I maintain the width, but it gets this way.
Exactly.
So
Because
I
your
should be
elbow
able-
is orbiting behind your ribcage so exactly.
And we talked about that, didn't we? Like left elbow or right elbow for right-handed player. If you pull it behind you, which I've been doing,
Mm-hmm.
that's how you add extra length, but not actually good turn.
Correct. Yeah, at the end of the day, we want length through the turn.
Yes.
We don't want length through arms moving
The arm-
longer
Yeah.
independently from the turn.
End of the turn. Okay, let me hit one more. That felt
Yeah,
good.
this looks really good. Good. Really, really good.
Those are some of the better iron strikes I felt in quite some time. Like it feels a lot better.
What were you seeing as the misses on the contact point? When your
I was
elbow
I was
hitting
hitting
50?
thin pushes
I
or
see.
overdraws.
Gotcha.
So the path is not totally different, but I just think based on where you've got the elbow here, I think before when it was here, I had this tendency.
Gotcha.
And I had to fix it. To me, it
Gotcha.
just more feels like backswing is good, swing.
Right.
Result is good versus
Right.
like backswing is whatever. Oh shit, better like make something
Well, I
good
think
happen.
like those are great deliveries for you, like like 4 degrees instead of 5 degrees down, lying goes 2.5 up.
Okay, guys, so that's the drill that I wanted Larry to show me. It's really simple, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Right arm for me across the chest, or left arm for you guys if you're right-handed. Use that as basically the wall or the barrier
Exactly.
to train your trail elbow. Honestly, that was really quite as easy as it gets for doing some drills.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys could see there is a subtle difference even after just a few reps.
Yeah.
If I work on this for a few weeks, I think I can really start to get a hang of that. Because I was saying to you off camera, like a lot of my swing is feeling quite good, but I do feel like at times the elbow gets kind of trapped behind me, and it makes it harder for me to kind of squat and rotate through because I think my body knows the elbow might be out of position, and I got to fix it before I hit impact. Okay,
Totally.
sweet. Yeah, makes sense, guys. As Larry always says, make sure the backswing is in a good spot first. Downswing will be a lot easier from there. And when you work on your downswing, it'll be a lot easier to work on it with good positions at the top.
Totally.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for watching.